I'm Gigi.
And I'm Stevona.
I'm Silvia. And this is Dumbtired. Come spend the night. I had a friend named Fran, my friend Fran, and she was really cool. She was a manager of the Pollo Loco I used to work at, which we'll get back to because I do want to talk about jobs. I think that should be something we talk about. But she was a manager of the Pollo Loco I used to work at. She was the gayest bitch you've ever met in your life. Super sick. Dyke, you know?
Cool.
And she just loved pussy. It was her favorite thing. And I remember one time she was like, I'm going to go meet this girl. And she lives in like Silmar or something. She's like, she lives far south. And I'm going to go get some puss tonight. We're like, hell yeah, friend. And she came back the next day. And like, I remember I went to drop her off that day at her house. And we're talking about her experience with this girl. And she was like, she was beautiful. Dude, she had the most beautiful pussy I've ever seen in my life. And she's just describing it in great detail. And I was like, sounds sick, dude. Hell yeah. And then she's like, can I tell you something? And I was like, yeah, go for it. She's like, I was eating her out, right? And like, not to brag, but I'm really good at that. And I was like, of course. She was schmeating her out. She was schmoo-shining that pussy.
I was going schmout on
her. She was going schmout on her. And
sensory.
Oh, she was sensationing, okay? Sensational. Anyway, she was whatever, doing her thing. And she's like, and I guess I was doing a really good job. She's like, I always make girls like come. And she's like, if I don't make them come, at least I know they're orgasming. And she's like, but I've never seen a girl like squirt like that. And I was like, cool, Fran, this is a lot. And she's like, I just want to let you know.
Really? That was a lot for you?
Well, it was just because she just wouldn't stop talking about it. And then she's like...
She was passionate about that pussy.
She was really, truly... And she was like, Silvia, I need you to understand, because I've never seen this before in my life. And granted, it was the biggest ego boost of my life. I feel like I could conquer the world. She's like, but it's like I turned on a faucet full blast. She's like... That shit was dripping down the edge of her bed, and I wet my feet. Like, it was that much. It's like I turned on a fucking faucet.
That sounds concerning.
Bathtub. And I was like, are you sure she wasn't just pissing on you? She's like, no, I smelled it. I was like, ew. And she's like, Silvia, I was in her vagina. You think I'm like gonna be scared of sniffing whatever comes out of her?
This is a true lesbian.
A true lesbian. She was obsessed.
Yeah.
She'd be like
a real girl's girl.
Dude, a real, like, an actual.
That's a girl's girl.
She would talk about vagina.
She was really born like that.
She was born for puss, dude.
Yeah.
She said she, like, tried fucking a dude one time, and the minute the dick was, like, in her, she's like, nope! And she's, like, pushed him out. And I was like, well, didn't you use toys with, like, the girls you used to fuck? And she's like, yeah, but that's different. And I was like, how is it different? And I never understood it. Her comparison was always, like, would you eat a real worm or would you eat a gummy worm? And I was like, a gummy worm. She's like, okay, so then you like gummy worms, but you don't like worms. And I was like,
girl, bye.
If I had to put a gummy worm or a real worm in me, I'd like a real worm to squirm inside, you know?
Oh.
Is that weird? Okay.
You had me at gummy worm.
Did I take it too far?
Lost me at real worms.
Did I take it too far?
I saw the original analogy. Now I'm confused.
Yeah. But she would describe vaginas as like roses, and like she would say like that it smelled like flowers. And I'm like, you're some plain bitches.
She should paint naked bitches.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yeah. I was going to say Frida Kahlo, but yeah. Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh my gosh, speaking of Frida Kahlo, I think it's so funny. And not to put you on blast, Liz, but did you guys see Liz posted a reel that and she was like, when you period so bad that you start to understand why Frida drew paintings.
Yeah.
They were coming at her in the comments like, actually she got impounded by a bus. like everybody's like,
she got impounded?
Doesn't that mean that drove into her?
Impounded? I thought meant like they take your car and put it in an impound.
I thought impound means Boom.
Impound is like...
Can you check, Josh?
You can impound a dog.
Yeah. You usually get like a car impounded. But you just mean she got hit by the cars?
She got hit by a bus?
She got hit by a bus. No,
okay,
the pole went through.
George.
Okay, I don't even want to know. Never mind. I was going to say a pole went through her uterus, but I've never seen the movie, so I don't want to throw false information on Frida Kahlo like that. I respect the bitch. So... don't want to say that.
I respect the bitch.
Yeah. I don't want to say I know her story like that, but they were like coming at her because, you know, Frida, her paintings are about like her miscarriages. Yeah. And then so I posted it on my story so it could get like more attention.
It was funny.
Liz for that though.
Yeah. It was funny. I was like, leave my girl alone. It's a joke. Some girl even messages me. She's like, girl, Frida drew those paintings because blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm reposting it for my comedian friend.
Have you ever had a period so bad that it feels like?
Yeah. I hate it when people miss the point and act like you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I know. They do that. They take that forever on there. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I remember one time I posted a clip of Mala and I when we were hosting, and I posted a clip where Mala was like, oh, I think that Jesus was gay because he had like 12 men following him, and like she was just naming why she thought like Jesus was gay and stuff like that. And then some guy kept like heckling her, and then I was like, he's like, Jesus said, like Jesus is so drunk, and I'm like, Jesus also said, shut the fuck up. And I like posted it, and then some girl was like, girl, you don't joke about the Lord, like blah blah blah, like this is terrible, like you need to do, I'm praying for you. And I was like, keep your prayers to yourself. Gigi.
Frida Kahlo was hit by a streetcar because the bus she was on tried to pass in front of it, resulting in a collision that severely injured her. While traveling on a bus with her boyfriend, the bus driver attempted to cross an intersection ahead of the streetcar, but was struck by the oncoming trolley. The impact left Frida with numerous fractures, and an iron handrail impaled her through her pelvis.
Oh, so I was correct?
Impaled. You said impounded.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but can we just check if impound is grammatically correct? Can you type it in? This girl was impounded by a bus.
If it was grammatically correct.
Grammatically correct?
Yeah.
Grammatically.
It's not, but we knew what you were saying. We knew what you were trying to say, and I think that's all that matters.
It's beautiful. I think Stevona
I used to be so good with words, and then I just stopped reading. I'm going to start reading again. I almost finished Coraline.
You used to read the Bible. I love how you've changed.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work in the morning. I'm like,
to read the Bible?
Yes, it's a lot of work to read the Bible.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Because the stories go on, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's next?
You don't know.
I'm like,
Jesus is really in a pickle.
I'm like 5,000 more pages to go to find out the ending.
You're like, what are they gonna get him for his 34th birthday?
What did they say about gay people in here? Can't find it.
But yeah, they took it. This girl took it so out of context on it, and it was like, oh my gosh, girl, like come on, like, and I was gonna throw Mala under the bus and be like, hey, I wasn't even the one that said it.
Yeah.
Funny times.
Yeah, being a comic is a crazy job.
Especially
Speaking
on social
media.
But for real, I hate working, dude.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
People always ask me if I would do acting.
Oh.
Because I already do stand-up comedy, and I think if the opportunity is all the way there, I would do it. Like, it has to be promising. It has to be good. It's a lot of fucking work. I'm not trying to be on set all day. I like comedy because you could do your shit and get the fuck out. 20 minutes of work, that's it. Acting, you got to be on set all day.
Yeah, it's not really something you can half-ass unless you're a bad actor.
I'd be down to do it. I'm an extremely patient person to the point that it becomes a problem because I don't know my self-worth enough to be like, hey, I've been here for like 48 hours. I think I should probably go to the bathroom sometime. You know, I'm like mousy in that way where I just don't speak up enough for myself. I'll just wait around as long as it takes to get whatever needs to get done, you know? But it wouldn't be my first choice.
But I would help the homies out in case any of the homies want to ask me.
Yeah, I'd love to act and shit. I'd love to do any of that. I think,
And I'm talking about when I get famous and have money already and can turn things down. Yeah.
I think for me, what would have to be promised is a paycheck. If I know I'm gonna get paid, I'll wait for days. Mm-hmm. But I need to know that there's gonna be a paycheck at the end of this. Because if I'm just doing it to do it, if it's not some sketch that I came up with my friends, where we're all on the same path of understanding, that's one thing. But if they're like, hey, I need you to act in this thing, I'm like, what's it pay? You know, because like,
They take all day.
Yeah, I
They
don't
take
want
all
to
day.
lose the opportunity to make money.
You could go hit a mic. You could grocery shop. You could clean. Like,
I could spend time with my family, see my boyfriend and my dog.
Sometimes if you see the artistic vision, you know.
Yeah.
I also went to film school, so there's like the
soft spot in your heart for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is hard work,
Yeah.
but it is also very gratifying when you see the project come together.
Yeah,
And I think, but that's also like actors that do projects like that know that going into it, and I
Yeah.
think that's the difference between starting some place like stand up and then having an interest in it or being asked to do something, and it is a whole new world compared to that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole thing about like having a gratifying career and a job. Because my career path, and I've known this for the past 7 or 8 years, is comedy. This is my end goal. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't care if it takes me 70 years. I'm not going to live that long. They're like, I don't care if it takes me a really, really long time and nothing spectacular comes of it. I'm going to do this no matter what, because this is my expression. This is where I feel comfortable. This is what I see myself as. Like, that's how I define myself, you know? But like a job, I would never give my life to a job.
me neither. Never.
Never. And I've had 1,000 jobs. Not 1,000, but I've had a lot. Okay. Have you guys had a lot? How many jobs have you had?
I've had a lot.
When was your first job?
18 movie theater was my first, like, actual, like, I'm getting, like, paid. Mm-hmm. I'd have, like, I had family members pay me under the table to do, like, odd jobs for them.
Yeah.
But then, like, actual, like, on the schedule.
Yeah.
Movie theater.
Yeah.
What was your guys' first job?
My first job was McDonald's. Then I worked at Pronto's Pizza. Then I sold life insurance.
You sold life insurance?
Yeah, I would go into people's houses by myself.
Shit.
And I would drive all the way to like Montana, Moreno Valley. So I know Moreno Valley really, really well because I was always driving to Moreno Valley. That was actually, oh my gosh, that job was, that shit was fucking crazy. I'm like, now that I think about it, I'm like, what the fuck? Because I seen so many people first I started out as a recruiter for them. And then I seen them making so much money. So I was like, okay, I want to try it. But it was like all commission. And we would have to go knock on doors, and I would literally go like knock on doors, or I would like call people and stuff like that. And I made good money, and then I like learned about manifestation, and I manifested a Miami trip with my friends. And then I was like, I can't do it no more. And I just like didn't return back to work. Then I dog sitted. I dog walked a lot, TikTok live. I'll do a brand ambassador. I'll do anything, honestly.
Side quest queen. Dude. Yeah.
You worked for Monet too, no?
Money, yeah. Oh yeah, I did that too. Yeah, I did that too. Yeah, I went to the Bahamas because of them. I went to Cancun. I went to Dominican Republic. They sent me on like a bunch of free trips. That was crazy too. That was crazy. I lived so many lives.
I started off at a movie theater, and then I worked at a call center. I worked at like a youth program in Watts. I worked at Starbucks. I worked at other coffee shops. Obviously, that's the one that kind of like stuck around more. What else did I do in college? I work with nonprofits. I do event coordination. I did like Fourth Fridays. Like art. As I got older, I got more into like event coordination and like working with nonprofits and local art stuff. I still work at coffee shops, but so there's like a few odd ones, but for the most part, I feel like I kind of was in the realm of like organizing and food service.
In the last episode, I talked about having road rage and how I was on my way to meet some lady whose dog I was going to take care of. This woman had rescues, right? And I took care of all of them. There was one blind one and then 3 other ones. And then there was a dog that she had on a mattress inside, and I was to take care of that dog. So I would come over in the morning while she went to work, and that dog had diabetes. It was blind. It was deaf. It couldn't use the restroom. It couldn't move. So I would have to flip. The dog would be like laying down one way, and every hour I would have to go and like flip the dog to go this way. And the dog couldn't go to the restroom by itself, so I would have to put its like hind legs in the bucket, and I used to have to like massage the poop out. I couldn't get it out. Poor dog was so constipated with me. I could not get it out. The lady would like try to coach me. I couldn't get it out, but the dog would pee. I used to like take its blood pressure. It was fucking crazy. I'm like, this girl like does not want to let her dog go, but then I felt so bad because I walked in one time and she was holding her and she passed away.
While you walked in?
Yeah, this was really weird. Yeah, she was I told her that I was going to be late and she was like, it's okay, I have some bad news. But I didn't pay attention to my phone. I just like drove there and I noticed she was still there. But yeah, the dog was like crying a lot. Like I was like, why are you crying? Like, what do you want me to do? But like, there's only so much you can fucking do for a blind, deaf, diabetic dog that can't use the restroom. Like, I'm like, girl, like, I don't want to say tell her to put it down though, because then I wouldn't have a job.
That was the only dog she had when you were there?
She had other dogs that I would like take care of. I would have to like let them out. I love that job because I was like, I would go just like take a nap on the couch in the morning and all that stuff, and then like just scroll my phone and just like be there with the dog.
That's a lot.
What jobs have you had?
I've had a lot of jobs. I started off temping. I temped for like a week at a watch factory, just packaging watches. Then for like a month at, you know the carts on airplanes that have the airplane food? It was a place called Airfare, and it's a warehouse where they have the carts where the airplane food goes. And I worked in the section of the warehouse where you would get the carts back from all the airplanes, and we would have to take the dishes out and like wash the dishes. So it was crazy because there was a freezer section, which is where they would package the food to take to put it back on the airplanes. I worked in the part where we would wash the dishes. So there was like a huge red dumpster that said toxic waste on it. That literally was like fucking, they would warn us there could be diseases in this trash pile in a hot room, because it was a room full of steam from the big machines that was cleaning the plates, because it was like a huge dishwasher, but it was like humongous because we had to put a fuck ton of plates on it all day. All we would do is like have gloves and like throw the food off the thing and then put all the food plates onto the steam washer. But because we had to go in and clock in through the freezer section, and the, what's it called? Break room was in the freezer section, we would have to come dressed up in like super, super cold, warm clothes, like if you were going to like the snow or something. But then we would go to our spot where it was like being in a fucking steam room all day. So we were fucking drenched in sweat, super sweaty, super hot, all fucking 4 hours of our, shift, go to our fucking break, be super, super fucking cold, come back, be super, super fucking hot. It was really wild. I worked there for like 3 weeks and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I cannot do this. This is wild. And my shift there was from like 4 a.m. to like 8 in the morning, 12 p.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. That shit was wild. Anyways, I worked there for 3 weeks. Then I finally got a job at Pollo Loco. I worked there for about 2 years. Then I got a job at Rubio's, worked there for about a year. Then I got a job at Sears. Then I got a job as a receptionist at a dental place. Then I started doing Lyft and Uber, and I did that for a few years just Lyft and Uber and like babysitting and stuff like that. And then I started working at at a grocery wholesale place doing marketing for them right out of college. After I worked there, I got let go. I was on unemployment for a bit. Then I started working. I worked at Stizzy for 2 weeks. Shout out. I don't know anything about weed. I didn't know anything about weed at the time at all. And people would come in and be like, what kind of terpenes? And I'm like, I'm like, point at something. I'll tell you how much it costs when I ring it up. Stop asking me stupid questions. I worked in the big warehouse one in downtown LA. They're like, you don't know? I'm like, no, I don't know. This is what's on sale. That's what they told me. Yeah, I worked there for 2 weeks. I could not do it. And then I started working in senior homes. That was my favorite job ever. And if I wasn't doing comedy, that's the only other thing I could see myself doing is working in senior homes. I worked in senior homes for like 4 years. I started off being a part-time server and part-time activities. And activities, I would play bingo with them. I would plan parties with them. I would like do like crafts. We would like make flowers together. We would garden and do exercises. It was like super fun, super sweet. A lot of the time it was just like spending time individually with all the residents to make sure that every day was like meaningful, you know? And then I left that first senior home to be a full-time activity coordinator at another senior home. And that was like a little more managerial. I had some like assistants. I made calendars. I created schedules. And then as well as like running all the activities, buying all the stuff, like making that shit happen for myself. And I worked at another senior home with my best friend Monet. And I took my best friend Monet's job at the second senior home. She didn't know I was there to take her job. And I fucking took her job. Ooh. And then, yeah, we got to like chill with each other and hang out. And that was cute. And then she quit like 2 days later. And then she got hired at another place. And I hated my manager at the last place because she was a bitch to Monet and then she was a bitch to me. And she's a terrible person. Carrie, if you're hearing this, fuck you. Anyway, we worked at another senior home. She got hired to be the director at another senior home right during the time where I was having like a fuck ton of problems with that other manager. And she's like, oh my God, if I could bring you here, we could finally like live our dream and be like coworkers again and see each other every day and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, if only. And then at the time she was the person that was in charge of memory care. And she had a director. Then her director left. They made her the director. She had nobody for the memory care unit. So then she's like, Sylvia, the position is open. It's fucking yours. I'm going to interview you. Like, let's do this. And I was like, yes. I remember it was like the day after New Year, I came back to my other job. I came in my fucking PJs just to be like, fuck you. And like, I came in, I lied. I was like, yeah, I have to leave because I have to take care of my grandma and I can't work here anymore. They're just like, well, you know, if you're quitting, you can't be hired back. I'm like, that's fine. I just can't work here anymore. They're like, are you sure it's not for any other reason? I was like, well, not necessarily. I have to take care of my grandma, but also Carrie's a terrible person and I think you should fire her because as long as she works here, no one will ever be able to maintain this job. You'll never have a consistent staff and I hope you know that. And they were just like, oh shit, okay. And the grandma part was not true. I just had another job. So then I worked with Monet, highlight of my life. I loved it so much. It was such a fun job. Like every day, like we threw a fucking senior prom for these residents and it was like the most beautiful experience I've ever had. It was fucking awesome.
Tell a story
of senior prom.
Something from one of these jobs. Yeah, it was like 30 jobs.
It's a lot of jobs. I know. All right.
She's like going over her duties.
Well, senior prom specifically was really fun. So we had a director for the whole place for a minute, and she ended up leaving. But she told us to throw this prom, right? She's like, you have a budget of $500. So me and Monet are looking for decorations and all this stuff for that amount of money. Then she ends up leaving. We got a new director, and the director's like, what senior prom? What are you guys talking about? What do you mean a budget of $500? When they hired me, they also told me, we're probably going to close this place down because we don't have any more funding. So if you're getting hired, it might be, you know, temporary. So This new lady comes in. She's like, we can't approve you for $500. Here's $150. Do what you can with that. And we had all these like big plans and imagined all these things. So then at that point, we literally had to get so crafty. We had like activities where all the seniors would like make crafts for us to use in the prom. We went and found like these huge like branches in parks and used it as like a walk down memory lane. And we got all the seniors like baby pictures and we put them on the branches.
They're like, who's that?
Yeah, no, they loved it. Even the ones that had dementia were like, that looks like me. But we made the activity room look like a fairy garden land. We put fairy lights everywhere. We put little like babbling brooks that we got from like Five Below. We fucking went to the willow tree outside of our fucking facility that same day, and we had the maintenance guy help us, Danny, shout out, put up a fucking ladder, and he was cutting pieces of branches from the willow tree so that we could cover the whole room in fucking leaves and make it look like a little like forest garden. And it was fucking beautiful. We went to a park and we fucking we were going to this park in fucking Fullerton.
They're old.
Sorry. No, and me and Monet went to the park in Fullerton, and we were just going and like cutting down flowers wherever we saw flowers, dude. From fucking
Me and my dad used to do that too.
We were getting fucking rose
We would get
bushels,
branches too. We would cut off branches from trees too.
Everywhere to decorate the whole fucking prom. And then oh my god, we bought this like huge balloon arc thing, and we ran out of helium for the thing, so then we couldn't blow up any of the balloons with helium. And I was like, it's okay, I can blow up all these balloons. There's this one balloon that blew up almost as big as me, right? It was fucking huge, and I blew up maybe like, no exaggeration, maybe like 200 to 300 balloons. And it took me like 3 or 4 hours just blowing everything up and like tying it all together. And when it came to it, I almost passed out. Like at the end of it, I was like, my lips were blue. It was fucking crazy. And there was this lady named Eileen, and we put that. She came. They all came really dressed up. They came in suits and dresses and heels. They did their makeup. They prepared all day for this senior prom, okay? They were so fucking excited. We decorated the cafeteria so fucking cute. It was such a great event. Eileen came in her wedding dress from her when she got married with her husband before he passed away.
Stop! I'm gonna cry.
They literally got married so that like she could have their paperwork in order and everything. But she was with her husband for like 30 or 40 years.
She got married
really
again?
in love with him. They got married when they were older. They weren't married the whole time. But she needed to consolidate their like paperwork. But she's like, he was the love of my life. And she came in her little like white dress to the prom. And we put the song like, come on, Eileen. Oh, and she fucking danced with us all night, and she cried, and she said she hadn't had that much fun since her wedding. Okay. It was so sweet. There was this guy named Scott, and he was obsessed with In-N-Out, and he came in a fucking a Hawaiian t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops, and he danced with us all night. There's this guy named Terry, and you guys have heard me talk about Terry before. About Terry. I love Terry. Terry was my fucking guy. That was my dude. I love Terry so much, and he was such a funny guy, and we didn't expect him to get all like excited about the prom. Early in the morning, all day, he was asking that somebody would take him to the store because he wanted to get a nice outfit. So he went and he got a button-down shirt and a belt, brand new shoes, and he didn't have a lot of money. He asked his brother for a budget to get a suit for the prom. He came all dressed up. He looked so cute, and he wasn't very like vocal. He didn't really talk to a ton of people. He would really only talk to the staff. And then that day he came and he was like dancing with everyone all night. He was asking all the older ladies to dance with him. And then when the night was over, like we didn't expect people to be out by past 9, because that was usually by the time like everyone was already knocked out. Everyone stayed at the prom till like 11:30. They didn't want to stop. They didn't want to leave, but we had to end it.
11:30, damn.
Yeah, which is wild for them, you know. And like while we were like breaking everything down, me and Monet and like our other coworkers, all of our coworkers, we all went dressed up in fucking dresses. We all came fancy and shit.
And these people are probably dead now, huh?
A good amount of them. Yeah, our majority of people there were like,
R.I.P. this episode for y'all.
yeah, they were like
Terry,
80.
you watching us?
Yeah. But it was funny because we had brought alcohol for the staff. So we were like sneaking shots whenever we could in like the back room. And then at one point, Terry pulled up. He's the only one who didn't go to sleep afterwards. Like when we should, he's like, "Oh, I'll stay and help you guys." And he was like helping us break stuff down. And he saw us doing shots. He's like, "Oh, let me get a little sip of that." So then we were getting fucking drunk with Terry. And then we went outside and we were all smoking cigarettes. And he loved smoking cigarettes. And they started smoking weed. He started smoking weed with them. And then our friend Danny was like, "Terry, can we do something really quick?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm cool, Danny. I'll do whatever." Terry was cool. He was like in his 70s, which is like young for that population. He did a fucking cover of Boats and Hoes from Step Brothers. Like filmed it as a TikTok, and we like shared that video with each other so much. It was so funny. It was such a wonderful night. It was like the best night of all of our lives. And I remember when they were like telling everyone that the facility might shut down, everyone was so sad, and they went up to us. They were like, "Thank you for giving us like one of the best nights of our lives." It was like such an amazing experience. Yeah. It was fucking awesome.
I can't work with old people for the simple fact that I would like literally cry at everything. Like I can't. But I do want to go. We should go like volunteer and like read to them or something. I've been wanting to.
I cried all day, and they probably wouldn't want you to read to them. Well, you know what? No, we did. We were going through Harry Potter books. We would go through Harry Potter, and after every Harry Potter book, we would have a Harry Potter party where we would have a screening of the movie and like play like fake Quidditch with them and stuff. They really, really loved it. But yeah, we could go do activities with them. You could do an exercise class with them, a dance class with them. Yeah.
Honestly, as stressful as a job like that sounds, at the same time, I feel like it's just as gratifying.
Oh, yeah.
I cry at just the TikTok videos
Yeah.
of them. I'm like, remember that video I showed you of
Yeah.
them? They were going to go protest for ICE.
Dude.
Elderly people, nothing pulls at my heartstrings like the elderly. Nothing.
And granted, I feel like that's a really good environment to you're around them all the time. So it's like, again, for every stressful moment you also have like a very endearing moment,
Yeah.
And as much as I love my current job. As much as I hate like food service, at the same time, it's like even finding little moments of like cheer or there's definitely like, it's weirdly enough, it's had its moments. Like I remember one time working at an older coffee shop, and I would work in the morning, so I had to go in like at 4 a.m. It was always slow and dark, and like this, honestly,
I worked 5 a.m. at McDonald's.
Yeah, I can't. It's a struggle to do it now, but at the time I really liked it. Like I liked being up before the sun and before anyone else was out there, and before it got super busy. And I would always play music in the morning, and I don't know what playlist I had on, but at the time, the music is playing and a woman comes in and she orders, we had loose leaf tea, we would put them in satchels, and she ordered 10 satchels of like chamomile tea, and she didn't want them made, she just wanted the like tea packets themselves. And so I'm like packaging up for her, and I'm just making chit chat, and I was like, "Oh, you're like stocking up?" And she was like, "Yeah, well, they're for my mom, they're her favorite, and she's in the hospital right now, and she has cancer." And so as she's telling me about her mom, I'm like, I'm like getting emotional, and I realized that "Hey Mama" by Kanye was playing.
That song.
So she's telling me how much her mom loves these teas and they're her favorite, and she doesn't like to get them anywhere else. It's like, "Hey, na 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 na," and I'm like tearing up, and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't put this song on purpose, ma'am. That was the doings of God. But I hope your mother is doing well."
Yeah.
But and then you get used to like the regulars too. Like at the time, there was like a bunch of older guys that would come in, and they would come in every morning, and they'd get their coffee or their tea, and they sit in a corner and they'd read the newspaper, and they'd come in, they see you working, and they'd be like, "Hey Gigi, how's the morning treating you? How's Bakersfield?" Like I told them like once that I was originally from Bakersfield, and then every day they come in, "How's Bakersfield?" And I'm like, "Well, I live here now." And I remember like the inevitable day where one of them stopped showing up, and then they realized that he had passed away. Oh my God, I was a mess. But we also made like a little like in memory like for him in the window, and it was just those. I think with any job you find those little things to get you through it, make it a little more real.
gratifying.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it makes the biggest difference in your day, in your job, makes you not want to fucking quit. Because even when I worked with that evil bitch, that manager that I fucking, it's so hot. I'm so sorry. It's gotta go.
For the audio listeners, Sylvia is stripping.
Yeah. Ooh. They're like, dear God, I'm never going to watch this video. Stevona's stripping too. If you want to come over. And you guys are making out. That's crazy. Anyway.
Subscribe.
Describe it.
Oh, subscribe.
No, subscribe.
Please don't describe.
Well, they both have lipstick on, but it's slowly coming off. Anyway. No, but yeah, working with like an evil bitch and like my coworkers there, I didn't really fuck with them. But the fucking moments with the seniors is what made everything worthwhile. And I think I've told you guys this too. I realized my purpose like when I was in college, and my purpose I feel in my heart is to make people happy. And I'm like, as long as I'm at a job where I feel like that's what's happening, that's what I'm doing, I'm fulfilling my purpose, then shit's all right, you know? And it's like, as tough as the administrative part of my job was, I was making people happy every fucking day of my life. And that felt like, oh my God, I'm doing something meaningful. Like, this isn't just like working in a service industry where it's like care, felt like, oh, this is fucking something, you know? And it felt like it was worthwhile to wake up every day because I would see their faces. And like, I think I've told you this story too, and this one would fuck me up. So I could do fucking 10 hours on just like stories about the residents. But there was this one lady, her name was Miss Leah, and it was the first facility that I worked at. And I was like doing bed checks and everything, and I remember I went around to her room. She was writing in a journal. And I was like, hey, Miss Leah, I'm doing bed checks. How's it going? She's like, oh, it's going good. And I was like, oh, are you reading? She goes, no, every night before I go to sleep, I write in my journal. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. You know, I've been told that I should do that. I should probably start doing that. She goes, you know, you really should. This is something I like to do, and I've been doing it for years now. Every night before I go to bed, I try to reflect on my day and write down all of my bright spots. And I was like, that's awesome. I'm like, what are your bright spots for today? And she's like, Sylvia, can I show you something? And I was like, okay. So then she like made me sit down with her on her bed, and she's going through her notebook, and she goes, I want you to know that since I've moved here, you've been a majority of my bright spots. I was like, bitch, oh my God. And she's like, remember when we went walking around the courtyard, and when you did this, and when we had this party, and when you sat and you talked with me? She's like, you're one of the reasons I'm happy to be here. And when I was fucking leaving, I went and I talked to her, and I said, sorry. And she goes, no, now my new bright spot is to know that you're moving on to something bigger and better. I was like, fuck, dude. Oh my God, that shit fucking, oh, that killed me. I love her. I love all of them.
That's what it feels like when you get a good Yelp review.
Sometimes I've been making that coffee so good.
She was just writing your reviews in her notebook.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
She was a fucking cutie. But yeah, and now like being at a soul-sucking job like I am now, it sucks, but because we're doing this and I do comedy and it feels like that's my main thing and this is my side thing just to keep me afloat.
But that's not your purpose, but you need that right now to get everything else in life,
that's like
know?
the means to make my purpose happen. Yeah. Because I couldn't be...
And that's just as important as your purpose.
Yeah. Well...
If not more important, to be honest, because you need that. Otherwise you're not going to...
Yeah, I need to stay afloat.
You need something, yeah.
But the whole thing about like the starving artist too, God knows I'd never starve. But it would take me such a long time to starve. But I've thought about that. Do you guys think about that?
Yeah. Like you could quit everything and like do the thing where maybe you're living out of your car, but you're fully focused on it. And I think it's
no, thank you.
Different strokes for different folks. You know, some people have their eyes on the prize and that's their means to do it. I also feel like as much as I love comedy and writing and performing entertainment, and as much as I know that's like where a big part of my life path, there are other avenues that I care about and I feel like can also like potentially make careers out of. Like it's more of a side gig right now, but another thing that I've been working on the past couple of years have been like fundraising for nonprofits. Yeah. And it's not that it's because that is also really very fulfilling, and that's something too where I'm like the work itself is always kind of tedious, and that's I think with like comedy is it's work, but it's also like it's fun and it's passion and it's creative, and with things like that, it is a little more, administrative and organizing, and it's not as fun. So sometimes like the lines will get blurred. I'm like, do I enjoy this? But in a similar thing of like creating something, it's like you work so hard towards something, and every time I've like taken the time working with the team to like put on like the 3K or the 5K or even the big fundraising comedy show, like there's like a feeling of warmth, like even showing up to rallies and fucking protests. It's like there's, as big as this is for us, there's bigger things outside of us, and knowing that there are ways that you can contribute to that, it's like I've teared up at every like event that we've had, even if it's just to myself, because it's like it's making a difference. And it's like, and even finding ways to combine them. So like when this was just this past year when you and I did the big fundraising show for Old Ting, that was combining two of the biggest loves right there. And that was like a big personal like milestone achievement for ourselves, but also the community.
You're far away.
Oh. But so it's like combining those two loves of like you can. I agree. It's like a part of the whatever I'm supposed to be doing here is make people happy, but there's also a sense of with that community and bringing people together. And I feel like finding everyone's path is different, but I feel like in my niche little like I kind of feel like that was like a dream gig. And I know we'll be able to do it again, but there's so much shit I want to do, actually.
Yeah, me too. But I definitely know that when I make it and when I do get successful, I do want to go back to school. I want to go back to school on my own terms, not because I need it, but because I really want to learn something like for fun, or I want to become something for fun. I don't want to like go because I'm in survival mode and I like need it. That's like, I want to go, I would like to like study like true crime or something like that. But I've always been very like, when I was in high school, I used to make bows. For me and my high school boyfriend, we used to make bows in his garage, and we would do like characters, like we would do like Little Mermaid, we would do like a bunch of Disney characters, or like polka dot. We do a bunch of different styles, and I learned how to make them on YouTube. So we would just be hot gluing them like in his garage, and I would post them on Instagram. And this was even before Story was invented. I would post them on my Instagram feed, and people would comment, "Hey, like I want this, and he would help me make them. And then he would steal his sister's car while she was sleeping, because she would work graveyard, so she would be asleep in the daytime. So he would steal her car so that he could like drive me around to like drop off my orders and like get cash.
Damn, that's romantic.
And this was at the time when like Lana Del Rey was like popular.
The bow trend was happening.
The flower crowns.
Flower crowns.
I was making flower crowns.
Everyone was
for
going
everybody.
to Coachella. Everyone loved Vanessa
I was in high school,
Hudgens.
so we couldn't, but that was the thing.
I made a great deal of flower crowns myself.
Yeah, so I sold a bunch of those. I always like found stuff to make on YouTube, and then I would like sell it. So I've always been like really craftsy. Me and my mom know how to make like blankets and stuff like that. So we would get like characters or like favorite football teams, and like just we would make it a lot for Christmas presents and stuff. So I like sold those, and I wanted to sell them recently. I went downtown to like look for fleece blankets, and they don't sell any type of that anymore. Like they're all closed down because of COVID. Like ever since COVID, all like the good material stores shut down, so I couldn't make it. I was thinking I want to sell my juices, because like I like to make juice. So I was like, I could do this on the side, but I know
what
juicing. Stop.
I believe you could sell anything you want.
But the thing that made me really fucking work hard to really get out of a 9-to-5, like to really like create a name for myself, because like I never really knew how to make money other than getting a job, other than applying, other than going to a fucking interview. Now I know that if I don't get a job, if I don't have a job, I'm like, I'm not tripping. I know I'll probably be a little bit short, but I can think of so many other ways to make money. I know how to make money so many other ways on Instagram through like posts or content, dog walking. Like I'm not even like, now I'm like, oh, there's so many ways to make money. So I don't have to depend on a job. But the thing that motivated me to like really go hard to like build a brand for myself and like work for myself is getting in an argument with my man or going through a breakup and having to fucking clock in.
Nothing makes you hotter and smarter than dealing with a stupid man.
Or like we would be arguing, fucking arguing, and I would be like taking orders in the drive-thru, like trying to go to the back room to like text him back and be like, oh, and I would be like fucking crying and stuff like that, and I would be like, I can't believe I have to go to work, and I'd be like, I gotta be my own boss so I could stay home and fucking cry my heart out, like this is crazy. And then my boyfriend at the time, every time we would get into an argument and I wouldn't talk to him, he would show up through the drive-thru. He would like order something and show up through the drive-thru so that he could talk to me.
Toxic.
And then, yeah.
Truly, wow. Let me get a 10-piece of fuck you stupid fucking bitch. I hope you fucking choke on your fucking nuggets, you fucking whore.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys still sell the love you once had for me?
I'm gonna do a side of I hope you choke and die, and
Make that a diet.
Yeah.
and for dipping sauces, baby, I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah.
I have a
Stop
code.
coming. Yeah. Once he stopped coming through the drive-thru, I was like,
It's over.
I was like, and then one time I was crying at work because of him, and they let me go home, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do this more. I was like, this is how I used to go home crying from McDonald's all the time because management would just, the older senoras would like bully the fuck out of me. Like they would make me just sweep and mop and clean the restroom all day, or like I would go and they would be like, oh, sweep and mop out there, sweep and mop the restroom, sweep and mop. Like they would throw like lettuce on the floor and stuff like that after I swept, so I would have to go back again
God.
and like sweep it up. They would like laugh about me and like make fun of me in Spanish. I could understand, but I couldn't really say anything back, but I knew they were making fun of me. And other people would tell me too, like they're like, oh, this is what they're saying about you. Like, and like that's when I was like, I can't be fucking depending on people for a job. I remember like getting cussed at by customers when I was already having a bad day, when machines weren't working on me, and I would get cussed out at. When I couldn't give them change for 100, I would get fucking cussed out at, and like I had to take it. Then I'd be like, I would get fired if I like stood up for myself. And I was like, I can't, like, this is fucking stupid. Like I cannot do that. Like I got like talked shit to so many times by so many fucking people and got treated like shit by so many people. And especially because I'm a slow learner too. Like I can learn things, but I have to be really interested in it. I never had a job that I was passionate about. I like the job that I do right now. And I like brand ambassading, but like passionate, no. I've only been like really like passionate about like
Comedy.
I guess, yeah, just like my own thing, because I do like comedy, but I feel like there's so many other things that I'm good at. I think just like honestly being a personality, to be honest, is just like that's kind of like what it is, and just figuring out like how to do that. Like my talent wasn't fucking math. My talent wasn't, I couldn't like pay attention enough in college, and I couldn't really pass my classes, but I'm like, that's okay, because I was actually meant to do like funner things, like more fun things that I can actually pay attention to. If I'm not interested, I'm not gonna want to learn it. Like that was it. Like, and people did not want to work with me either, because like I didn't give a fuck. I would purposely act like I didn't know how to do anything, so they wouldn't ask me to do shit.
Yeah, dude, I can tolerate like the day job I have. Like it's definitely not a passion. I think I know how to do it because I've done it long enough, and I'm trying to keep my bills paid. And now I found myself in the position of a manager, but having had so many bad managers too, I think that's another reason why I tolerate it, because I'm like, unless there's days my boss comes in, I'm like, who gonna tell me shit, Mm-hmm. But also I thought I don't want to be that manager too. Also, it's a small shop. I have like 6 employees, I run it more like a commune, like we're all working together here. But I feel like if I romanticize it enough, I can like get through the day to day. But there's always those moments where like I asked for no coconut. And I'm like, I'm going to kill myself.
No,
This is the stupidest fucking thing. Why? Like, I spilled my drink. Can you make it again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
that
make
was
it
me
again?
at McDonald's.
And there are moments where I'm just like, this isn't what I should be doing. It's what I'm doing right now, but this isn't what I'm meant for more than this.
Yeah, they would like yell at me, and I already feel stupid in the fucking McDonald's hat and fucking suspenders and shit like that. Like, I'm like, you're already making a fool out of me. Like, oh my gosh, when the señoras used to talk shit to me, I remember like walking home and like I called my mom and I was just like crying and I was like, they're being so mean, and I was like so upset. I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fuck their daughters up, and I was like, no, don't say anything, like it's okay, you're gonna start like just look for a new job, like whatever. And I was like, okay. But yeah, they fired me at McDonald's because I went to another McDonald's and I told some girl I was gonna beat her ass through the drive-thru.
Good reason to be fired. Yeah. Also, my job isn't in the best location. I've seen so many people take a shit outside of the cafe, which, you know, depending on my perspective of the day, could be entertaining. But depending on my mood, could also be my 13th reason.
Right.
You know, I used to have a manager at McDonald's that would literally like scream, like, go get the sauce! Literally scream like
crazy.
that. And I would be like so scared to work. Every time I found out where I was working with them, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, no. I would be like going into work having like anxiety, like all the time. Every time I would go into a new job, I'd have anxiety because I'm like, I'm gonna have to relearn this all over. I'm gonna be slow. They're gonna think that I'm like holding them up, and like, you know, it's gonna take like, I'm gonna be holding everyone back because I can't get them new machine right away, you know, or just like something like that.
I actively see like the trauma in my employees, like if they mess up or if they like forget to do something and they're like, you know, someone tells me something, or if I say confront because, you know, it's like I'm going to talk to you if I notice something, but immediately, you know, like sometimes I've seen employees tear up. Sometimes they immediately are super apologetic. They're like very like, it is like an anxious dog, and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to hit you, like, and I'm like, let's do better, and they're like, that's it. And I'm like, yeah, you want to take a 10? And they're like, that's all you're going to tell me?
Yeah, it is really scary.
But a lot of people have been put through the ringer. And again, the only reason I feel like I try to be that way with my management style is having had managers like that. Like when I worked at Starbucks, it was in the library at Cal State Long Beach. So it was a very small, concentrated shop, but super busy, like consistent, constant flow. And there was always like, you know, they crammed like 8 of us back there because you just wanted to keep it moving. And the woman who was the manager there, and I don't know if she's listening to this. Emily, if you are, I hope you went to therapy because you're fucking insane. But she...
Oh, we're saying names now?
I'll say her name.
Yeah.
She...
Fuck you, Emily.
Because...
Not Earhart.
Wait, but also, Emily from Starbucks. Because my boss currently is also named Emily, and I don't mean her. She's cool.
Okay.
Maybe just bleep all these names out. I had to cover my tracks. I'm like, wait. Not this is from Starbucks. Okay, this is years ago.
Yeah.
But she could not, like, you need to have some sense of like emotional like stabilization, and she would get, if not as stressed, even more so stressed than us, and it would just make the whole operation, like, you are literally leading the operation, and if you can't keep your cool, how do you expect anyone on your team to keep your cool? And she would get red in the face, she'd start yelling, she'd start like throwing stuff, she'd get so upset, she'd be yelling at us to go, get out of my way, do this, what are you doing? She'd make you feel so stupid, and you know in that moment it's because she's so stressed, but I'm like, you as a manager can't be doing that shit, dude. You shouldn't be here. And I realized after I graduated, she was a student. She seemed a lot older. And I was like, she was a student? She was probably the same age, but she was not a good manager.
Yeah, that girl, her name was Carla. She was a hella chola too. Super fucking chola. I'm like, of course. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyways, she started working nighttime. And me and her... we started all right. I think she kept getting talked to because she was like screaming at customers and screaming at workers, and customers had to even be like, "Hey, don't yell, like relax," you know, because she would literally be screaming at them. And then at nighttime, I noticed when I was working with her that. Because there's a time at nighttime where you have to shut the systems off and they only accept cash. So you have to write down the orders and you have to manually do the change and you have to like write everything down. And I noticed that I can't remember. She was basically stealing money. she was asking for more food. I don't know what it was. She was asking for food. Okay, so say she would ask for like a Big Mac and like expensive things, but she on the sheet she'd write down like McChicken and stuff like that. So she had leftover money and she would be pocketing that. So she would tell me I need this, and that. And then I would like look at it and I'm like, that's not what they asked for. And then I started, because I'm always the first to open my mouth. If I notice something, I'm going to start talking to other people like, hey, did you notice this? Did you notice this? I'm going to always do that. And so I started talking to my colleagues and I'm like, did you guys notice that she puts different items on there? And like, she's being a little crooked, and they started noticing too. And then we ended up like telling the boss like she's stealing money, and they did a whole investigation on her.
Snitch.
She got fired. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Damn.
I don't give a fuck.
This is at McDonald's?
She traumatized me. She would publicly embarrass me. She would like laugh at me in Spanish with everybody else. So I was like, yeah, she be stealing. She be stealing, and she stole a lot of money too.
Damn.
She would probably take like $300 a night.
Damn.
It would get busy during the night. She worked the weekend, so this like people would be drunk coming in, and when they're drunk, they're ordering like hella shit.
$50, $60 worth of fucking food. Yeah.
They were ordering. They'd come in. It's like teenagers, so they're coming in cars full of kids, so they would be.
Teens drunk driving to McDonald's, man, doesn't get better than that.
Dude, that's life. If that were a job.
Oh, dude, I used to think my ritual with my homegirl Esther, we would always go out. We would go partying. We would go all over to like all these flyer parties. We would get like super fucked up off Ciroc. And
What flavor?
I think the red one.
Is that peach?
No, actually, it was the peach one. It was the
Peach
peach
Ciroc,
one.
'cause
Peach
peach
was the
Ciroc
best.
is the best
Peach
Ciroc.
was the best. Yes, we would drink. We would go house on a peach Ciroc bottle. We would get fucked up, and then we would like go to bed super like 5 a.m. Wake up, and then we would go to like the gas station. We'd get a Powerade, and then we go to McDonald's and we get some sausage egg McMuffins, and we just like eat it, and then just like knock back out, just be asleep the whole rest of the day. Like that was the best.
Yeah, I have this is not job related at all, but in college, I had made some new friends, and it was almost like a weekly routine because we had so many similar classes where they'd come over to my place. A lot of them were commuting from other places, so they'd come over to my apartment or wherever I was staying. We'd get really high. We'd bring a bunch of snacks, and there was one day we were like, we're gonna have a fucking day. And I can't remember the order of it. They came over early. We got really high. We went to the fucking 626 night market. We like ate a shit ton. We came back to my place. We all collected. There's like 5 of us. We all took a nap in my room. We got up. We got high again. We went out to eat more. We brought food back. We're playing games. It was just like the whole day was a cycle of like get high, get food, nap, get high, get food, nap. I think they end up spending the night. And even to this day, we'll talk about it and we're like, that was the best day ever. Life could all be so simple.
That sounds sick.
If you didn't have to have a fucking job.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then you and your friends could just like kick it all fucking day, just like, you know, or even if you did have work, you could just like still hang out later. But the thing is that like you get tired after a while and you have other things that you have to do. And then people have kids. So it's just like, it's hard.
I was traumatized at Sears and at being a receptionist at the dental place I worked at before. But at Sears, it was like the manager was a fucking bitch. And I remember what traumatized me at that job was the sound of keys coming down the hallway. Ugh. So to this day, when I hear keys jingling when I'm working anywhere, dude, I sweat. I get so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, that's my manager. They're coming. What do they know? What am I not doing? What am I doing wrong? Like, I get so fucking terrified.
You'd be so stressed if you were a baby.
Oh. Give me keys. Yeah. But that has followed me to every job I've ever had.
Dude, the sound trauma is so real. Like, anytime I hear, like, a receipt paper being printed, I'm like, and right now my cafe is inside of a gym, so everyone's walking around with their hydro flasks, and we have like marble counters. Oh, yeah. And I feel like now I can't even hide it anymore. I'm so over it. But they come and they put their water bottles, and it makes that giant clanking, and it sends shivers down my spine. Yeah. It puts me in a bad mood, and I have to force a smile and just be like, they don't even know. They have no idea, and I hate them. They have no idea. In the corner of the party, they have no idea I hate them.
Other than like, I'm not going to talk about the senior homes anymore because I could spend so much time on that. But at like a service job, what was like your favorite memory of a service job? that you had?
My homies coming through and me hooking them up with free food all the time. All the time.
For
I
the
would
sake
always
of
be
my-
like, I'm forking, come through.
For the sake of my job, I'm not going to admit that because I still work at my food service job. Come back to me.
I used to do that with the pizza shop too. I would come back with like three boxes of pizza, 12-piece wings, and I would charge my friends like 75 cents for the wings, 50 cents for the pizza.
wild.
Like,
No, I got a good one. It's a little more broad, but honestly, even to this day, I still appreciate about it. But you meet so many different kinds of people doing it, and it's one of the reasons why I even like doing something like comedy. So many people I know now that I'm friends with is because at some point they were a customer or a coworker. Coworker culture in a food service job is unmatched.
So important.
Not every, some you meet friends doing other things, but a lot of some of the people that are closest friends in my life currently is because I worked with them or we were like mutual like customers at each other's shops, and there's so much community in that. I think that's, I don't know, at some point when it becomes a little routine, like, you know, I'm used to seeing so many familiar faces, you know, even like today I got so hyped because a regular customer was like, I was taking his order and he was like, you always play the best music. And I was just like, I really fucking carried the vibe today, dude. Thank you. Like, that means so much that you noticed.
we had this one customer. Did you guys know that I trained Butters at McDonald's?
Butters.
For real? That's hilarious.
You guys, you know Butters?
Okay, I've seen, he comes to the Chatterbox show sometimes, right?
Yes, my husband, Butters.
Yeah.
Him and I worked together, and I trained him.
That's hilarious.
So we worked together. Yeah, that was really funny. But we had this one guy that would come in, and he would wear a leather jacket, and he would ride like a motorbike, and he had like a helmet, and he had like beautiful blue eyes. And one time I was like, "Oh my gosh, you have blue eyes. You have beautiful eyes." And he was like, "Oh, thank you." And then he starts telling a story, la 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 la. Talk, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just stuck there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he keeps fucking talking. And people are like, don't talk to him. He doesn't shut the fuck up. Like, he doesn't shut up. Don't talk to him. And then so like I would feel so bad. And I would go, but he wouldn't even let me get a word in. He's like, ah. One of my best friends, Rodrigo, was the manager, and he would literally just flat out ignore him. Like, he would literally give him his coffee, and the guy would be standing there talking blah blah blah, and Rodrigo would be like, order number 52, like just going, like not even giving a fuck. And he would literally just stand there for hours, and everybody would just be like, you take his order, because they didn't want to talk to him because he would not shut the fuck up. He would just keep going.
Dude, some people come in and they really do just want to talk.
Yeah.
But similarly, sometimes you just kind of like, your way through it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, hold that thought. You know, actually keep talking.
Yeah, I like to up the ante with something that's going to make them uncomfortable enough to stop talking to me.
There's this older woman that came in. She's probably like in her 60s or 70s. And she's been a chatty Cathy the few times she came in, and she's really nice, but sometimes she just like keeps going. And one time she came in, I was working with my coworker, and she was yapping about something, and then she was just like, all you girls here have such beautiful smiles. And then me and my coworker are looking at each other, and she kind of ups it up. She's like, oh yeah, we all like each other, we have crushes on each other, we kiss each other. And I could see immediately the old one was like, oh my God, that's not what I meant.
We're all really fucking horny right now.
I looked at my coworker, I was like, let's tone it down. But with that being said, as someone who still works in a food service job, nothing I think makes me tolerate it and love it more than coworker culture. I love my coworkers. There isn't anyone on my team where I'm like, oh man, I can't believe they're working. Like, I'm like hype anytime. I'm just like, ooh, I get to see them today. And granted, it's a small team, so I feel spoiled in that sense. But and not even this job, so many of my other jobs too, where I'm like, I can't think of a time where I like had beef with a coworker, because there's, again, it's that sense of community of like, hey, we're all struggling together. But we're together.
Yeah.
And again, I've just made like, so it's so funny. Like, I'll be working with someone, and then like we're having like the way coworkers know way too much about each other. As a manager, I should cool it, but but my coworkers know way too much about me, and I know too much about them.
Yeah.
But we'll be having the most like intimate, like, and then he had me bent over, and he was doing that, and then a customer comes up with a kid, and we're like, "Hey, how's it going? Did you want to get a kid smoothie? Got you, bud." Yeah, and when I tell you, when I flipped me back around, it is like the most disgusting. We should not be talking about this at work, but also like, when am I going to see you?
Yeah.
I got to tell you now.
Yeah. I love that. Coworker culture is really important. When I worked at Pollo Loco, that was probably one of my favorite jobs. Just because my manager was like a really good friend of mine. We would have competitions to package the tortillas in the bags. So this is how she would get us to work fast and also like efficiently. She would have like, I would bring my friend Keith and my friend Adriana and my friend Jenny at the time, and we would get packages of all the tortillas, and we would get all the little bags and be like, okay, we're gonna set up a competition. And meanwhile we like got stoned outside, we're fucking drinking alcohol. We wouldn't like clean up the soda machine so that we could get mixed drinks. We were like in the back like making each other fucking burritos and shit so that we could eat while we're getting stoned and getting fucked up. And we're like, okay, ready? And then we'd like make a fucking like competition to see who could package the whole box the fastest. And then we would fucking like get 3 mops at the same time, see how fast we could fucking mop the whole fucking store and like clean up and finish and do everything so that the next morning we wouldn't have to like worry about any of that shit. It was like such a fun environment. Like it felt like we're working, but this is fucking sick. Like, dude, being stoned and drunk and being with your friends and hanging out was like so cool.
Yeah.
And then like we would like, you know, the leftover food, if we were gonna dump it or something, we'd just end up being like separating it at the end of the night, like, oh, here, take a 16-piece of chicken to your fucking family, take all the sides, take this, take that, because they were just gonna throw it away at the end of the day. And we hated wasting food like that. That was one of my favorite experiences. The other one is when of course working with Monet is top, but working at the Comedy Magic Club. I love all the people at the Comedy Magic Club so much. It was one of my favorite places to work. Everybody made like that job such a wonderful experience. Like they let me put on a little show for the staff there. Richard and Bill and all my coworkers are so fucking sick. Yeah. And we would do like birthdays in the back for everybody. When I was in the sound booth, I got to DJ the music at the end of the night, and I usually put Spanish music because there was a bunch of white people who would go to that fucking club and still do. And I was like, you're gonna have to listen to this fucking Latin rock right now, this Spanish rock, I don't care. So then at the end of the night, all of like the Latino coworkers would look at each other and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, and they'd all dance. And then a lot of the customers were like dancing as they were walking out, and they would always be like, damn, who's on the fucking ones and twos right now? I was like, it's me, bitch. And it was so, oh my god, it was such a fun, they made a like, Lynn, oh my god, so many people, and they made a, I don't know, but it was such an important like place, and I would have never left if it wasn't like inconvenienced to like doing actual comedy, because it was taking time out of my day. It was like I couldn't book shows on Saturdays, which is like the most important day to fucking book shows, you know. But even when I left, they made this fucking goodbye video for me. They fucking brought me a cake. They made this whole thing. She made a goodbye video with like highlights of like videos of me working around the thing and like having funny moments and talking to like big comics and stuff while I was there. And so many of the like big ass comedians that worked there liked that video. They're like, we're gonna miss you. And now I've run into them in the wild, you know, doing comedy, and they're just like, oh my god, dude, you're not there anymore, huh? And they're like, and now they're like taking me seriously as an actual comic. Yeah. And it feels and it felt like, oh, I moved up, like I'm progressing. I see all the hard work that I put into that job as like a huge milestone for where I am now, but also like I'm so thankful that it was also such a wonderful experience. Yeah. You know, like the entire time I loved that job so much.
You know, I kind of forgot about it, but I used to work at the Irvine Improv.
Yeah. I remember, that's what I was
totally slipped my mind. Oops. Suppressed that memory. No, it was a cool experience. It was like post-college. I was working coffee shop in the morning, comedy club at night.
Yeah.
I was working in the box office. And I remember, this was before I was even actively doing it. At the time, I was like still in like, sketch and stuff. So I was in comedy, but I wasn't doing stand-up yet. But I remember I still had the thought actively. Like, I was so amazed just even walking through. You see all the pictures of the comics. As a girl who loves comedy in general, like, even though I was selling tickets, I was just like, this is my Disneyland, like, genuinely loved it. And I remember thinking at the time, like, I'm going to perform at the Improv someday. It might take me a while, but I'm going to get there someday. Yeah. And have I performed at that specific one? Not yet. But have I performed at an Improv? Yes. Yes, we did it together. We did it together. Shout out Jesus Trejo, dude. He's the
loveliest man in the world.
Coolest, raddest, like, comic could have crossed paths with. And he also comes to my cafe. So he's definitely a really cool friend. But even that, it was like that internal milestone of just like, you know what? It was a couple years since then, but you just keep on going. Yeah,
it's like a progression that feels important and significant. Like different little milestones that you can look back on. It's like, I remember when I used to look up and like see that and be like one day, and now it's like, that's happening for me. I'm doing this.
My favorite movie growing up, Emperor's New Groove. Who was the comic my first opening weekend when I worked there? David Spade. Yeah. And I remember even just working box office, I was like, I made it.
Yeah. Oh, I got to meet Tom Papa. Ooh. I got him to sign my book. That was fucking huge for me. I was like, oh, wow. Look at us now. Okay, you said something that I do want to touch on. Are we good on time? Yeah. I figure we should probably wrap it up. Okay. You touched on something that I thought was really, really fascinating, and I think maybe that could be our closing little statement here. You said you used to make bows, and that was like a craft that you really enjoyed doing, and it was like fun, and you had a good time, and you were making orders. I've always thought, like, if I wasn't doing or if I was doing comedy consistently, whatever, but I wanted a side job of like different hobbies that I could sell, what would that be? So like crafting things, like, is that something that you would like to do? Is that something like, if you could pick a hobby to make a career out of and be like, if this is what ends up being my life instead of comedy, I'd be really okay with that. I'd be like, this is actually fucking sick. Like, I could do comedy on the side. This is my life.
Travel vlogger.
Oh, hell yeah. Vlogger. I like that.
Maybe not at my specific location, but I genuinely really do love coffee. I love making it. I have grown very knowledgeable about it. And I've always kind of said to myself, if I ever, like, in this universe or an alternate one, I feel like there's been a life I've spent where I am that old lady trucker waitress, just like, hey, hon, you want another cup of coffee? And just chatting with random strangers passing through. I'd be okay with that.
That's sick. I love that. I have a few, but I'll try to keep it short. I'd like to be a woodworker and make furniture. I'd like to reupholster things. I do like to get crafty. If I could make, like, I've seen people make lampshades. I was telling Josh about that earlier. I would like to make lampshades.
Out of skin.
No, out of material. Yeah. Why do you guys think I'm such a fucking freak that I would make it out of skin?
Because that's like low-key your vibe.
No, I would want to flip furniture. I would want to make furniture. I would want to design clothes. There's like 1,000 hobbies I could see myself doing. But mostly I want, and this is like a life goal ultimately also, like Nick Offerman has his own workshop and woodworking shop, and he has classes and like he'll make wood stuff with people. I want to have my own like woodworking shop one day and like build my own fucking chairs in my house and build my table and build birdhouses for people and whatever the fuck I can think of making, you know?
Yeah.
I think that would be a really sick job, and like to sell my pieces as like art pieces, but like that are functional. Also, just because I don't trust most of the furniture I sit on, I want to be able to know that that shit's not going to break. So that's probably what I'd be. If that was like something that I was known for, that's what I made my money off of, I'd be 1,000% okay with that. I'd still do comedy on the side.
Yeah.
But I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling fulfilled as shit. You know?
Yeah.
My ultimate goal is
To blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
Cut. Print. End episode.
Yeah.
Just kidding. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
This is the same wavelength with that one. Yeah.
I want to be on reality TV.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you have said
yeah.
that. You should do Golden Bachelor.
I want to do. No, I don't want to be. I don't want to do no dating show.
Okay.
I want. I do want to build a fan base off of comedy, but then I do want to be like travel vlogger from there.
TV personality.
No, I don't want to be TV.
That would be sick. I could see you as a travel blogger.
Reality TV is TV.
Yeah, but not like a host or nothing like that.
Oh, I just meant like a personality on TV, like reality TV.
Yeah, but
Like
yeah,
you would
not
want to host like
dating,
a
though.
TV show?
No, like Big Brother or something like that, or like The Challenge. I wish Fear Factor was still alive,
Would you do Fear Factor?
but I thought that was my calling.
If someone told you
If
to put
Joe
1,000
Rogan called
cockroaches
you
all
right
over
now-
you,
I would do it
you would do that?
Nah, she a little freak, low-key. I know she would. I believe in her.
for Fear Factor.
And I
I
bet money on her.
because me and my dad used to watch Fear Factor all the time, all the time, and I would always be like, I want to do that. I
If they
want to do
made
that.
you eat like a giraffe dick,
I would do it if it's Fear Factor only, not no bootleg shit. Not no bootleg shit.
damn.
For Fear Factor.
Bring
for
back
Fear
Joe
Factor.
Rogan,
Yeah.
Fear Factor era. Fuck Joe Rogan now. Bring back Joe Rogan from
Stone
then.
Cold Stevona, more like side quest Stevona.
For real. Hey, that's your new nickname, baby girl.
You bitches still piss me off.
I feel the love.
I think we should let that love keep us warm, tuck us in, and we should call it a night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you for spending the night with us. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Dumbtired. But for now, brush your teeth, wash your face.
Do your skincare.
And don't forget to flick the bean, girl.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Love you.
Bye.